Let's keep going with this vocal real quick because I want to get through this because this is important.
She always walked me to the door, carried my Gibson to the car.
Okay, so right there, if you see his fundamental bouncing between about 150 to 250.
She always walked me to the door, carried my Gibson to the car. Sweet memories of us.
Okay, so he jumps up and it jumps all the way up 250 to 350. All right, so he's not even really belting yet.
The turn into dust.
Where's our fundamental? 7, 8, 9.
The turn into dust.
Okay, so now clearly he recorded with compression because this right here, you can see it. And I can hear the effects of it, which is fine. And that's typical that people record. A little bit of compression is not going to hurt you in this sense. And we can actually, at this level of compression, I can reverse engineer with parallel compression to add things in or help it anyways. So here's the first time I'm hearing the whistle tone.
The turn into dust.
Subtle. It's actually more subtle than I would like for a teaching exercise, but it is still there. And we need to learn how to pick this out. So I'm hearing two things on this, and this is where you need to elevate your hearing and work with these vocals and really seek and destroy so that you learn to hear it. And this is where my little hearing damage comes in. So protect your ears from what I'm about to do because this is going to hurt. So turn your speakers down, guys, a little bit. Now watch. I'm going to point out exactly the frequencies, all right? So we're going to go into this band isolate mode, and before I even do it, I guarantee you it's my least favorite frequency, 3650 or right about there, 4000. This guy doesn't really have a lot of whistles, so it's probably like 4000, 4100. So let's find that.
Now minute by minute, the turn into dust.
33.5. That was a pretty good guess, 3650, all right? So
now minute by minute, the turn into dust. Now minute.
okay, so the reason why we like dynamic processing instead of static processing on vocals is because it's all about natural sounding. So if I were to just cut this frequency, which is the problem frequency.
Now minute by minute, the turn into dust. Now minute by minute, the turn into dust.
You hear it?
Now minute by minute, the turn into dust.
The whistle. You guys hear it? Okay, so now it's fairly subtle and possibly very palatable in this form. You probably could get away with not cutting it on this record because he's not Carrie Underwood. She's one of the worst contenders for this whistle tone. I love Carrie Underwood. I love her records, love her music. However, whoever's mixing her needs to pay attention to this lesson. So Adele also has a horrible whistle tone, even though she's incredible. And actually there was an interview where the guy talked about bypassing on and off based on the needs. So here's another situation like the snare drum where if I do a static cut, we're going to have a deficit.
The turn into dust.
Notice at the end, you hear the distortion?
The turn into dust. The turn into dust.
Okay, that's the vibrating diaphragm. Or his compressor failing. It's mechanical. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to get rid of that hurty whistle tone frequency. What's going to happen is the more I compress that, the more it's going to bring that whistle out. And what's going to happen is you're going to come out of these speakers and people are going to be like, I don't know. I just don't like this record. I feel like he's yelling at me. Rihanna. It's something in that whistle tone that we find annoying. And the reason is that babies cry at this frequency. There's a specific genetic disposition to create these sounds to get your attention so that possibly sexist comment, when a man is watching football and the baby is crying 4 doors down, it has to cut through the football game so that we hear it and go over and pay attention to the baby. So this frequency exists for a reason.
They also say that it bugs women slightly more. Like they've...
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
So I've done some sort of studies. I don't know.
But then that's probably a mothering issue,
Yeah.
right? Because you want it to get your attention, right? So you have to hear the problem when someone crying, when a dog yelps, when a tire squeals. This is the frequency it's happening at. So 3600, 3200. I mean, it's going to change. Now, what's happening is that the diameter of the windpipe, the larynx, the esophagus, the vocal folds, whatever. That's where it gets beyond me in the science, and I'm sure some vocal coaches out there can do it. But what's happening is that the diameter of your windpipe has a resonant frequency, and it's going to change based on the key of the song. Okay, so this will always change no matter who the singer is. It's never going to be the same, but I guarantee you starting at 3600 would be the right choice. Some people will even put a whistle out down at like 2000 or 1500, like momentary, and it's trippy. So you have to just kind of be willing to go in there and search and find these and cut them down, because what you're going to do is you're going to start making a singer that is just okay start to sound really good. So first thing we beat down, and I want you to really pay attention to this on the radio. Go listen to a Carrie Underwood song. I promise you. What's the song called? Dug my keys into the side of his pretty little souped up four-wheel drive. What's that song called? Before He Cheats. Go listen to Carrie Underwood Before He Cheats, and on YouTube, and listen for the whistle tone. Pull it into your Pro Tools rig. Isolate 3600, find it. It's right there, okay? So the key is, you can either do this as a static EQ, then we got to fix the deficit, all right? So remember, nothing without a trade-off. So let's now go into vitamin, and let's cement over the pothole, right? So we're gonna, what did we do? What was our frequency? It was 3300, 3200, all right? So waves vitamin. 3200. So let's do 27, and that'll probably work somewhere around there. Okay, great. So I've got a little region.
They turn into dust. They turn into dust. They turn into dust.
Okay, so that's one way to fix a deficit, by smearing the frequencies with distortion, because that's really all this is doing is harmonic saturation distortion, lifting up some saturation. That's one way to do it. I personally would rather do it with dynamic EQ. So we already know what the frequency is. So I'm going to turn up one of my all-time top 5 Desert Island plugins. If you do not own the BX Dynamic EQ V2 Mono, it is worth every penny. Go over to Plugin Alliance or wherever you can find, get this darn thing. If you do not have this, look for your best de-esser with the broadest frequency and the tightest Q. All right, but what I love about this one is what I'm about to show you. So you have two bands here. You have your key listen and you have your dynamic EQ, right? Then you have a threshold, and then you have all these other controls like a factor. So I've set it up into a cut mode, and my default, my Dr. Default right here, Dr. Default. I save this per singer, by the way, because singers have a diameter of the throat. So next time a singer comes back, you just pull up the preset for them. So what I do is turn off, you have a max gain, so that you can like set a ceiling and a floor for how much gain. I just turn that off because I'll show you. Now, I watched a Tony Maserati interview where he talked about using multiband compressor, and he said, and this is genius, the attack parameter on your frequency here is based on tricking the ear. So you want to let just a little bit of the frequency in so that the word sounds complete, but then you want to let it clamp down to get rid of the nasty. I find this is more accurate on low frequencies than on the whistle tone. So we're going to do 2 of these in a row. One of them for low frequencies, proximity effect and all that stuff, and one of them for whistle tone. So here, let's go for the whistle tone first. So let's just pretend we didn't have the frequency. Let's find it again. So I'm going to solo the bottom band. Okay, now that I've got it isolated, I'm going to take the solo out, and then we've got these linked together. There's a little knob right here, links the 2 bands. Now, in this case, I want it to key and cut the same band. So get that in, internal sidechain. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn the threshold off, and the factor's down to 5, okay? So I like to start it low. Okay, now we're going to bring this up slowly, okay?
They turn into dust. They turn into dust. that turn into dust.
Okay, now my method on this, I'm giving you all the secrets here. What I like to do is I like to just let the threshold find the frequency.
That turn into dust.
So you notice it's doing the work, but it's not fixing the problem. And the reason is, one, because you don't want this to mistrigger on anything else. I only want to try and trigger this on that frequency. So I get it to just barely trigger on the frequency.
That turn into dust.
And then I go over here to factor, and we're going to turn the factor up. So that way we've set our threshold to a level where all the rest of the vocal passes underneath. It barely ticks, and then we can say, when you barely tick, now I want you to really tick. All right? So that's the cool part about the factor.
That turn into dust. 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 That turn into dust.
Okay, that's pretty black and white, right? This is you fixing a vocal and making it sound record label quality. It has nothing to do with the microphone, because I swear people are putting these whistle tones out in the room.